I want to be as real for you as I possibly can here. If you're watching this in 2026, thinking about breaking into cybersecurity, you're actually sitting at one of the most pivotal and interesting times in the history of cybersecurity. AI has changed everything. In fact, 2 years ago, actually, let's just say 6 months ago, I would have told you something completely different than what I want to get across to you today. Just last year alone, I would have told you go and grind your CompTIA Security Plus, memorize your SIM queries, and learn to triage alerts, and all of these things that now AI has completely turned on its head. I would have gotten you to go and accumulate more knowledge and information while also really prioritizing getting a entry level position that gives you a leg in or experience when now it's completely different. AI has changed the game. Now, AI did not take your job. What it did is it's becoming a tool that separates really good analysts and cybersecurity experts from great ones. If you learn to use AI correctly, if you bridge the gap between where you're currently at and what you need to do in order to get into one of these amazing cybersecurity roles, then you're going to have an advantage, a huge advantage of the people walking into the interviews that just don't have this information. In fact, in this video, I'm going to walk through exactly what has changed, how entry-level jobs have all but disappeared as we knew them 2 years ago. And your first job in cybersecurity is going to require experience. It's going to require you actually doing hands-on projects. And it's going to require you to understand how to utilize AI in these roles in order to carry out what previously was done as an entry-level role. But your first role will require you being a cybersecurity expert that also knows how to utilize AI. I don't want to spoil this too much. If this is exactly what you're looking to do here in 2026, breaking into cybersecurity, this video is for you. Let's jump straight in. What's up, people? My name is Zach Marcy, aka HackWithZach. I have been a cybersecurity specialist for the last 6 or so years, but I've been involved in information security and in technology for the last 2 decades. And the most important thing above anything else, over the last couple of years, I have been mentoring people on how to make the transition from wherever you're at into the cybersecurity role that is ideal for you. Now, the game has changed a lot, and that's exactly what this video is all about. But before I jump into that, it would do me and the channel a huge favor if you just like and subscribe right down below. Thank you for doing that, and let's jump straight in. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of you saw AI, and you went, oh my goodness, Tier 1 SOC analyst positions are done for. Everything I've been doing has been for nothing. Why would anybody hire a junior analyst? I'll never break into cybersecurity. The doom and gloom is really out there right now. It is a little bit harder to get into the cybersecurity industry, but here's how these jobs have changed, and here's what you can do about it. Number one, the jobs have changed because AI is now being able to effectively do the alerting. And the context of all of those alerts that come in get triggered off and signaled inside of either a secure operations center, SOC, or a SOAR that humans were triaging before. And now it's requiring a human being to take whatever that AI has outputted and with a significantly more advanced in-depth research mindset and capability to look through those alerts and determine whether or not it is a true positive or a false positive and what to do with it. So what you're actually getting is a layer of what was burning a lot of people out, what was creating issues where People were getting alert fatigue if the same alert kept getting popped off over and over and over again, even though you knew it might have been a true positive. Oh, we're already triaging that alert, but it popped off for 4 more different IPs or host names or whatever the case may be. Sometimes people were getting burnt out on that alert fatigue and they were missing some real attacks. A lot of this has gone by the wayside. And now the beginning analyst, I don't want to call it entry level anymore, but what it really truly is, a more expertise analysts are breaking in and being able to do real work from the beginning now. AI is creating a fluid through point of all of your endpoints and your signals that are coming through. It's processing them in, and then it's giving you just more of the tuned information that you as a cybersecurity analyst or SOC analyst will need to go and enrich. You will then need to insert yourself. Is this a true positive? Is this, as I'm looking through the payloads and I'm looking through what this attacker is trying to do, what can we do to get them out? How can we block these people? Instead of just trying to figure out, is this even an attack in the first place? So your new level, associate level, junior levels, they're going to be gone. It will require you being an expert in cybersecurity, in SOC analysis, in cybersecurity analysis, in what these alerts are actually telling you that are coming in from your firewalls, your endpoint detection devices, what is hitting your websites, how attackers are trying to get in, and what it means to either block them or get them out. That becomes your new starting point in cybersecurity. So what does that mean? That means bad tier 1 is gone. It means your new level is going to be a cybersecurity expert. In fact, we're going to see a lot more people that are niched into, maybe you're a firewall expert. Maybe you're somebody that is only doing application security, or something I have currently just went through and graduated from, being a cloud security engineer. Something I was not doing before. I had a little bit of expertise with it, but not a in-depth one. And now I can do it from scratch and do it at a super high level compared with all the other architecture experience that I have. That's going to be the way you start in cybersecurity going forward. So think of it from a hiring manager's perspective. If you're going to build a SOC or you're going to build a security team in 2026, you have a certain budget. You're going to go, okay, I am going to spend on these technology stacks, and I need to spend on this type of agentic AI, which is going to be a little bit expensive because I need GPU speed and I need space to save the logs, whatever the case may be. But then I have this other budget over here for expert level and niched level people inside of, let's say, Microsoft Sentinel or the Google SOC Ops, whatever the SIM or SOAR might be, Splunk, and whatever the technology stacks are, like CrowdStrike's Falcon endpoint detection, or Microsoft Defender, which is doing endpoint detection and sending all those logs in. And then you get Sentinel-1 or whatever email phishing filter that you might have. Those things are where you're going to need a human getting all of that information getting kicked out. And that's how a hiring manager is going to start looking at their security team in both SOC or cybersecurity analyst. The environment's going to change. It's going to require you being more of a niched expertise. It's going to require more knowledge. It's going to require a lot more curiosity. It's going to require you inserting yourself as a true cybersecurity consultant, as a true cybersecurity enthusiast. And now is the time that you need to develop both. You can't just be a generalist anymore. You have to be an expert. So that's how tier 1 jobs and entry-level jobs have changed and what you can do about it. But how do you start getting specialized in it? Let's jump into that. So how do you break in to cybersecurity? Well, you specialize in AI augmented security. Now, I want to give you a 3-step framework, and it's going to be one of those where you're able to think through how to stack your education process, or you can click the link right down below. I have a cybersecurity roadmap on exactly how to do that. Also, you can email me directly. But anyway, after you've done that, let's talk a little bit about the 3-step process. Instead of thinking about getting like Security Plus and applying everywhere, I want you to start thinking in a visible skill set that demonstrates how you're a cybersecurity expert and you also know how AI fits into security workflows. This is your big differentiator here in 2026. That's your angle. You become a cybersecurity expert, especially utilizing AI. So layer 1 is going to be your traditional foundation. Listen, you still have to know the fundamentals no matter what happens. People say this all the time, but it still does matter. You have to know at a packet level whether or not what layer you're actually looking at these logs in and where you're going to need to put up the protection. You need to know that TCP/IP still exists. You need to know what normal logs look like. You need to know what anomalies look like because you need to be able to spot whether or not something's baseline or not. You need to know operating system basics like Windows and Linux. You need to understand attack life cycles. And probably one of the most important things that you can do is memorize, probably not memorize, but at least become intimately familiar with the MITRE ATT&CK framework. And literally, it should be like a second language to you because the MITRE ATT&CK framework understands how each of the attack points come in and what to do about those invasions that come into any kind of network from any kind of angle and what to do about it. That is number 1. Get the basics down, get the foundation down. But then step 2, you're going to prioritize AI proficiency because, again, what I said, this is going to be your edge. You're going to start to do things like using AI models. And I'll be real honest with you. I am very particular that Claude and Gemini are a lot better right now than a lot of the others. But you're going to use some AI models like ChatGPT or Copilot, Claude, Gemini, whatever, and specifically incorporate them into cybersecurity workflows. You want to get in there and start talking to the AI and train your own personal AI with not with vague questions, but practice prompting it for real threat analysis. Give it a suspicious log entry if you download it or if you create it from a lab yourself, which I highly recommend because then that will carry over into Foundation 3. But don't let me digress. Let me stay on 2. You want to give it like suspicious log entries and ask it to explain what's going on. How did this attacker get in? What specifically can you do about this? How do you know it's not a false positive? How can you get this person out both right now, midterm, and long term? And what are some of the other technologies that you might be able to put in place that would block this from happening in the future? And how will you ensure that you're not catching false positives? A lot of the way that you train with the AI, a lot of the way that you think will start to enhance your interaction with the AI and give you a better way to start triaging alerts and insert yourself as an expert in the process of coexisting with AI in cybersecurity. So you're not just learning AI, you're building the muscle of like the human to AI collaboration in a security context. It is really rare for somebody to have that right now, but that's going to make you the unicorn that stands out in your interviews and in your organizations that you get hired into. So layer 3 is going to be proof of work. And a lot of people have gotten a lot better at this. In fact, hiring managers are almost discounting your resume and jumping straight to your GitHub, your Medium write-up walkthroughs, your personal website that's documenting all of your projects in your labs. Right now, hiring managers and people that are trying to get better level of cybersecurity expertise are wanting to see how you are utilizing a cybersecurity mindset and AI to triage alerts or to react to the very quick, very fast and evolving cybersecurity landscape that's happening right now. Hiring managers are not looking for junior portfolios anymore. You have to stand out. So go start a blog, start documenting everything through LinkedIn, or go get a GitHub repository and have somewhere to point, hey, I am a cybersecurity expert. This is how I think. This is how I'm utilizing AI. Now you should hire me. So I hope that helps. But most importantly, I'm going to give you a roadmap here, a month by month, step by step roadmap to get you from where you're at, whether you're a starter, is a starting beginner. You can identify where you're at on the roadmap and then plug yourself in or fill in the gaps and then go from there. Let's jump into that. Here, I want to give you something concrete. In fact, I'm going to make this where you can go and download it right down below. This is not going to be go study networking, get your certs. This is actually going to be a phase-by-phase process or a roadmap that you can follow starting right now. And I've broken it into 4 phases with realistic timelines, real resources, real milestones, and real projects. Now, most important thing that you can do literally is go download this down below and opt into my resource list and start following this immediately. So 4 phases. Phase 1. Phase 1 is 1 to 2 months. I call this the foundation sprint. You're going to start studying for your CompTIA Security Plus using Professor Messer's free course. You're going to complete his course and the study within 6 to 8 weeks and go to challenge for the test. Set that in your mind. Parkinson's law states the amount of time that you give any given task or project that you need to complete, the given amount of time is the time that it will expand or contract to for you to complete it. Give yourself 6 to 8 weeks and go and challenge the test. You're going to be surprised at how 1 to 2 hours a day of studying is going to absolutely make it where you absolutely nail this within 6 to 8 weeks. If you're going all in, really committed to becoming a cybersecurity expert, this is what you need to do. And the great thing about Security Plus, it gives you enough of the foundations of both networking and security that you're going to understand how and what of cybersecurity without having to go overboard with anything else. And it sets a foundation in conjunction with doing the second thing, which is set up a home lab. What we're going to do with a home lab is you're going to go intentionally get the either damn vulnerable web server, or you're going to go get Juice Shop. I highly recommend Juice Shop. Set it up on a free Ubuntu instance along with a Kali Linux instance. You can do this either in a virtual box on your computer, which I think that is good for people that are brand new and don't really quite understand how setting up or engineering a vulnerable virtual machine on a cloud instance might lead your entire machine to getting hacked. But you also, if you're one of those people that really loves taking on the challenge and learning things that are going to be applicable to your real world job in cybersecurity, I would go and get a free tier of AWS or Azure. I think Azure gives you a $200 credit and AWS will give you a $150 credit. It's going to be way more than enough to do this home lab. Kali Linux, VMware, Kali Linux, the Juice Shop, and go and get an Elk stack with Security Onion and or Kibana. Now, this in particular, in fact, I think they have a free version with the AI enhanced involved. The reason why we're using the Elk stack to begin with is you'll learn Splunk in the next phase 2. But right now, I want you to learn how to set up a SIM, attack a website or a web server, and then what those logs look like every time that you're attacking it. This is going to be the most amazing phase that you're ever going to do. And most people don't do this, but you also want to start using an AI model as your learning tutor and have it explain every concept that you don't get. Have it create the flashcards for you for Security Plus in areas that you might be falling short. Have it explain, hey, you know what? I can't get the elk stack working on this virtual machine. I'm getting this error. Can you help me troubleshoot it? And cut and paste it in there and start working with it. It will compress the amount of time that it takes for you to learn anything. In fact, even utilize AI and say, hey, can you give me a 2-month game plan or a 6-week game plan starting from scratch to passing the Security Plus exam with quizzes and everything, and it will produce this for you. So that's phase 1. Download that down below. Phase 2 is months 3 and 4. Now, this is going to be where you become a blue team expert. You've already passed the Security Plus, or maybe you're going to need to challenge it a second time. No harm, no foul. That happens pretty often, and that's okay. But you're keeping going. Next thing that you're going to do is you're going to sit down and ask AI to explain in layman's terms what the MITRE ATT&CK framework is. Go in and study. Again, remember all the resources and links are right now inside of the PDF down below. But study what the MITRE ATT&CK framework is. Essentially, in a nutshell, it is all of the ways attackers can get in and persist in a network or web application and what you can do about it. It's the most complete mapping tool ever. And once you understand this framework, then go and look up 5 real-world attack scenarios and then start interacting with the AI. Hey, how could how does this fit into the MITRE ATT&CK framework? What could they have done in these real-world attack scenarios in order to get these attackers out? And then start thinking in terms of the MITRE ATT&CK framework for cybersecurity. Once you've done that, you're also going to learn to program in KQL. And it's more of a markup language. It's less of an actual language. Or SPL detection rules. What does this mean? Well, you're going to go and get a Splunk free tier. I believe almost all Splunk instances use KQL. Or is it SPL? It might be SPL. I've used both. I know KQL gets used inside of the Kibana or Security Onion instance that you're going to do in phase 1, but I believe it's the Splunk language is SPL. And you're going to use AI to help you develop detection rules, stand them up in your free instance of Splunk, and have them explain to you what they do, and make sure you document everything. And then also go and attack your website that you've set up with Splunk sitting in between, and use a bunch of different. Now, I'm going to say this. You need to be careful. You need to make sure that you're doing this carefully in a way that is not against the terms and services and rules of your hosting provider, which many of this can be and is. But document everything and ensure that you have 3 documented SOC investigations published on either your blog or GitHub. This, you've already passed Security Plus. Now you know the MITRE ATT&CK framework. You know how to utilize Splunk and one other SIM, which is Kibana or Security Onion. And you have documentation of SOC and cybersecurity investigations. That's phase 2. Phase 3, it's months 5 to 6. This is where you get true AI integration. You're going to deep dive into AI assisted threat detection. Now, the best place to do this is Microsoft Copilot for security and or Google SecOps. Here's the cool thing. Both of them have free tiers. They do now. I don't know if this is going to be in the future, but they do have free tiers right now. We're also going to start to learn Python basics and write a log parser and a CVE lookup script. Or you can do like an IP enrichment tool. Actually, you know what? Let's do both. I'll include that in the PDF down below. And you're going to practice prompt engineering specifically for security. You're going to do things like writing out threat reports with, obviously, you're going to get help with AI, IOC or indicators of compromise enrichment, and rule writing. You're going to study Sigma rules and convert AI suggestions into validated detections. That might not make that much sense now. It will make sense as you start getting into this. You're also, and this is probably one of the most missed and important pieces that I have known just from years of interacting in the real world. You need to start actively networking with people. Jump into LinkedIn, start participating in a lot of these security experts forums or on their posts that they put inside of LinkedIn. There's a bunch of local DEFCON groups. I'm hoping that you have one. Go and Google it. Go look up and go to these. There's a lot of Discord security servers, including HackWithZach, where you jump into it. The link's inside of the PDF. And here's your milestone project for this that you're really going to document. You're going to write the Python security script with the help of AI on how to look up CVEs. You're going to post it online. Ask AI how to help you do this and set it up for your blog. You're going to get networking experience. You're going to get the experience of developing whatever it is, your free tier of Azure or AWS, on setting up your instances where you can produce a cloud security script, but make sure you challenge the AI when you're developing the security script for the CVE lookup that people can actually go and utilize. Make sure that you also ask, hey, are you doing this in a secure way? A lot of times you're going to catch that the Python security, that the output that this AI is doing is not in security best practice, but the actual act of you going through it, doing it, and then asking the AI to change what is and isn't secure will help you. I just developed a resume generator, and because I already know this and I have an expertise in cybersecurity, I was working with Claude Code in order to help me with it, and they were attempting to hard code the API security key into my programming language. It's what the Claude Code is set up, and I'm staring straight at it. I'm like, this is the number one thing I have created a detector inside of, an AI-based detector inside of cloud environments to never hard code any security key. You keep it in a secrets folder. And if you don't know that, now you know that. That's a bonus. But while you're developing these scripts for the CVE lookup in the IP enrichment tool, also have the AI explain what is and isn't good security practices and make sure that that is being applied. This will take you very far. And this is things that nobody else is doing or talking about, but you're going to get it just right here down below. So you've made it this far. We're going to go into phase 4, and you already have a portfolio working for you. And I'm telling you right now, almost every single one of you guys can get a starting job in cybersecurity as a cybersecurity analyst or as a SOC analyst with just those 3 phases. But here is where you're really going to make a difference in your own career. Months 7 through 9, you're going to be job ready, and you're going to launch and apply to SOC roles, MSSP, which is Managed Security Services, MSSP positions, and the cybersecurity entry level or associate level or starting level cybersecurity analyst positions. I'm going to say this, with your portfolio, you are already showing that you have the capability to walk into these jobs. You're not a beginner anymore. You literally have done the work and shown that you've done the work. You have a live site. You have a live repertoire. you're able, because you've compressed the time frame utilizing AI, you're able to speak in terms and utilize all of the technologies and tools that are available to you right now. And you're going to be able to explain everything that you've done in detail. And you're going to be able to get a bunch of different first interviews. You're going to have to repetitively go through them. You're going to have to interview 100 times before you even get your first offer. But I mean, that's it, guys. Like, you're 9 months away from being able to start taking interviews. And your first milestone is going to be get your first interview, get your first offer, and start your first day of cybersecurity. So some people, it's going to take 9 to 12 months, and that's okay. It really, truly is okay. But a lot of you guys are going to be able to compress this down into a 6 to 9 month time frame, and do so in a way that has an expertise with industry leading technology stacks, being able to utilize AI and walk into these job interviews at any given time and nail the job. Here's the thing that ties us all together, though. You are building this in public. You're not just studying. You're showcasing the evidence that you can think like a security analyst who uses modern tools, and you are the candidate that the hiring managers are looking for. So, without further ado, let's jump in and actually let's recap all of this real quick. Cybersecurity is not the easiest field to break into. In fact, if you're going to make 6 figures in any kind of career, you're going to have to be an expert in it, right? Full transparency, cybersecurity never was really an easy field to break into. It's just the barrier was a little bit lower. Again, I've been doing this for over a decade. I genuinely believe that someone starting today, learning and combine the solid fundamentals with deliberate AI skills, can be more valuable in their first year than people who have been in the field for 3 years doing it the old ways, or the people that are coming out of 4-year degrees, or these accelerated cybersecurity boot camps that are 2 to 3 years, teaching 2 to 3 years in the past stuff. The field is literally rewriting its own job descriptions right now, but you get to write yours. In fact, if this helped you, do me a favor and drop a comment right down below. Tell me where you're at. Are you starting from zero? Are you making a career switch? Are you already in IT and need some help? I read every single one of them. And if you want more contents on this, do make sure that you like and subscribe right down below. I do have some deep dives coming up on like AI assisted threat hunting, building your own home lab with AI tools baked in, and interviewing prep for the 2026 SOC and cybersecurity analyst roles. And most importantly, make sure that you jump in and download that PDF that's right down below. That in particular is going to do 2 things. It's going to get you on that path for this blueprint on how to utilize AI and compress the timeframes down. But probably most important, it's going to get you on the list for my SOC and cybersecurity analyst accelerator program that we're going to be launching here in 2026. You get an opportunity to be one of the leading people in this cohort at the introductory price. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one. And remember, we need more cyber defenders just like you. Go and make it happen. Talk soon.